Ladies and gentlemen, we are now live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform where all wrestling matters. And today, it's kind of funny because I'm looking at my guest and I'm used to these promos he's been cutting all over the place on Instagram, his YouTube channel, and different promo places. And I'm used to, let's say, black and white and darkness and let's say different voice modifications. But you may or may not get that. But what you will get is, let's just say, plenty of rage. As a matter of fact, we'll have a house full of rage today, tonight, this afternoon, wherever you are, because our guest is going to talk about what's coming up in the world of Texas promo wrestling, where he's going to be squaring off with a man that I know very well. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about his, let's say, resounding victory over a man that some people call Gunshot, others call him Squirt Gun. We'll talk about what's next in the promo world, and we'll talk about his own journey, which has led him here. And how about those House of Rage production videos you've seen on his YouTube channel? So I don't get in the crossfire, so I don't end up like Gunshot or anybody else that he's promo battled. I am now going to give him that introduction that so many others have gotten. You've been waiting for it. He's been waiting for it. And even though my voice may not agree, I'm going to give it to him because, after all, we don't want to end up like Gunshot. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time now to start this show here on the road in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station. So, with without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show. A man who's the founder of House of Rage Productions. You've seen him in several promo wrestling companies, especially TPW, Texas Promo Wrestling. His name is, simply put, the Devil, Nathaniel. My friend, how are we doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
You know, I just think it's ironic, by the way, that you're the devil, but yet you have a Christmas tree in the background. So apparently, I guess I should ask this question, which I wasn't going to ask it, but to start, I mean, for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform where all wrestling matters, I guess even the devil celebrates Christmas?
Yeah. When you're married, then yeah, you don't really have a choice.
You do know that on my TikTok, that will probably go viral tonight. I will have to say, but I'm pretty sure TikTok, so I can't wait to post that on TikTok because the devil celebrates Christmas. You know what? It's 2024, and people are certainly in the holiday spirit. I was even listening to Christmas music at 4:00 in the morning. But enough about that. Enough about those pageantries. I see people here in the chat, thank God, because I did a show yesterday with a baseball reporter. Although on X, it got like a gazillion amount of views. On YouTube, people were like, who? But enough about that. So Nathaniel Rage, the devil, we have a lot to talk about here. And I think I'll start here in the current tense before we talk about some other things. So for those that are listening and watching here now in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the devil, Nathaniel Rage, tell us what we can expect in your upcoming promo match with a man that is no stranger to this platform and no stranger to the wrestling world in Devin Adams.
I will definitely say this. So every time that I go out and I am even on that screen, I go in with the aspect that I'm going to shoot shoot to kill, basically.
Yes.
So it's not if we are friends in or out of this. My goal is to make you look embarrassing, as I did a gunshot. That's just my main goal. And where it's a
Well, you
nightmare.
do know that like 2/3 of the backyard wrestling circuit was probably secretly rooting for you and hoping that you would basically turn him into a squirt gun. Because I can tell you, probably like 60% of my platform was probably, if they saw the promo battle, which I know some of them did, were probably like, you would have, from their vote, would have won it in a landslide just for showing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But like my goal is to where it's a nightmare street fight. I want to play with the dream aspect a little bit. I want to try to mess with his mind a little bit, because I always try to go into every promo or any type of match when I was wrestling prior with the aspect of, if I can get inside of your head, I'm already winning the match.
And how do you do that, though, with a guy like Devin Adams? I mean, Devin Adams is a man that is certainly very well known, not only in the promo wrestling game, but certainly here in the backyard, the underground wrestling circuit. He is on his way to training now to be a professional wrestler. So, I mean, Devin Adams is one of these guys like an Anthony Steele. I mean, anything you say doesn't stick. So how do you get into the head of let's say, a Devin Adams?
The way that I prepare for all my matches, promo or non-promo, is I study. I study every promo tape, every wrestling take, and if I see a miscalculation anywhere, I always, always, always use that.
So when you study for, let's say, somebody like a Devin Adams, what does that entail? Do you sit there and watch every single Instagram live he does? Do you just skim through notes? I mean, not to give it all away, but how do you prepare for somebody in the promo world versus, let's say, somebody, let's say, in the wrestling game?
So the way I prepare is I go watch what they say.
Okay.
And usually, majority of the time, they always have to bring up the God aspect of it, because it's devil. It's always, they're like, well, I'm going to throw holy water on you. Okay, if you use that, I'm going to come out with something 10 times worse and embarrass you. But like going into the world for Devin Adams, that's a different type of thing. He's a little dark and mysterious as well. So I have to sit back and watch, but go as a professional wrestling aspect into it. I watch and I study match tape all of the time. That's just what I do.
So who are then some of the people that you're studying to put you in that frame of mind? It could be anything. Who are you studying to get into that frame?
If to get in my dark demeanor, I'm a great big fan of Bray Wyatt.
Okay. I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot in the promo and in the wrestling game. No, definitely well deserved, sure.
Mainly it's Bray Wyatt, I would say. I'm not a real big fan of Undertaker, but
he wasn't like the biggest, promo guy. I mean, later on, when he sort of started speaking, but if you look at his career, I don't look at him and say, okay, that's one of like my all-time MCs on the mic. I mean, he really doesn't get mentioned, and it's no disrespect. I know there's like thousands upon thousands of people who come on this platform, and by and large, understandably so, they're Taker fans. But I never looked at Taker as like, oh, the be-all, end-all is a promo guy, really.
Mm-hmm. See, I listen to Bray and MJF.
You do look like MJF a little bit. I will say that. You have a little bit of are you guys related by any chance?
No, but I've been told that I have a punchable face like him.
I'm not going to go there, because you do actually have some, let's just say, devilish-like promos that you've put out there. So I'm going to plead the fifth on that, but I'll leave that for the audience to decide. How about that?
Yeah.
But, okay, so you get into that mindset, and obviously we're coming up here in a nightmare street fight. So, how is this different than some of your most recent battles?
In this one, I'm going to go in with the mentality that I'm like Freddy Krueger. So I'm going for the jugular. So my thing is, some of them may see, without giving too much away, they may see a clip of me going to sleep, but waking up somewhere and messing with the mind in that aspect. So that's where I'm going to go into this. It's a street fight. It can happen anywhere, anytime. And, my gimmick, my character, as some would say, is based in Appalachia. So I could pull Devin Adams straight into Appalachia.
And Devin, really knowing where Devin lives, he wouldn't really know where that is.
Yeah.
Do you feel pressure in terms of some of the stuff you do? Because, I watch some of these different guys. Some of the guys have been coming on to the platform. The CPF guys have been here. Killshot was here. Zach Clark was here. Obviously, Texas Red's been here. I mean, a whole number of different people in the promo game have been here. Darius was here famously a few weeks ago. So how do you feel you do things differently? Because I feel like you add an element that maybe some of the other guys don't, because you have this whole black and white background. You shoot from the outside. I mean, do you ever feel pressure to kind of one up everybody in what you do out there, at least from a visual standpoint?
No. To be quite honest, the reason, like, I never feel pressure. However, when I go into like promoings or any type of settings, when I'm even making videos, I want to give the audience something cinematic, something that they can look at and be like, I don't know what just happened, but I like it. So like when I come into it, I know a lot of the guys, they'll be like, oh, well, it's just edits. It's just effects. Well, if you take the aspect of bringing nature and edits together and you combine them and you have someone that can actually tell a story, that
also some of these other guys aren't, I would imagine, in the environment that you're in. So you do have an advantage that you could add nature to it. You could add different elements that I feel that with the other guys that come on here, that they wouldn't be able to based on their environment. So you do have an advantage. So why not use it?
Absolutely. I agree. And, it doesn't take actually that long. Like, as some people know, I have my own faction known as the Cult. I train all of my members that are in that to the top tier standards that I try to get them to produce out. They learn everything that I do, and I tell them to use those into their promos. If they want to, they can choose to. If they not, they don't have to. But like one of my proteges, and I'll mention him now, Leviathan, he's grown so much in over a month that I'm a little scared for myself because I think he can take me on now.
Well, don't say that here. You're the devil. I mean, you don't want the devil to be taken out. I mean, you are the devil. I mean,
true, but the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing humanity that it didn't exist.
Well, I mean, obviously, we certainly don't want those devilish plans to be impacted. Let me ask you, though, obviously, we're coming up toward the last few promo battles of the year. And obviously, we have this. I think we have one more next weekend. So we've got this and another one coming up. So how important is it for you to have a strong showing, to finish strong here and pick up a victory or two more under your belt?
Well, the way that I see it, it's the end of the year. So my goal is to get out as many victories as I can as possible. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, because when next year hits, there's going to be a strong, impactful thing that's coming to the promo universe that I am going to do. And I think a lot of people's not ready for it.
I might not be ready for it. I have no idea what that is, but I will say this much here. If you have a chance, do me a favor. Go follow Texas Promo Wrestling. We've done a lot of work here with TPW, and certainly Rocky is, Texas Red, whatever you want to call him, has been a huge supporter of ours over the past several months, and we appreciate everything that everybody does here. You have a number of matches here. I mean, what a card it's going to be. I know we're going to be talking a lot about it. I mean, we got Zach Clark, who was retired, unretired. Killshot's always a favorite of ours here. I mean, I know Zach Clark's got to get back on here. Jerry Main just followed us. I mean, Be Smooth and AJ Storm. We've talked a lot about AJ Storm before. Obviously, we got the Unforgiven. Obviously, we know that Hunter's obviously out there, and Hardcore Hobby now. I mean, just a lot of great matches. I mean, there is the man that you defeated, and the man that some people will call Gunshot, others call him Squirt Gun, but Sloth Jam Williams is going to certainly, I'm sure, do a number of things to him. I'm sure most people would want another guy that's obviously, wait a minute here. I got to bring this up for a second. Now, there's this guy named Mr. Brightside. I don't know if you've heard anything about him, but you have any advice for this guy, Mr. Brightside, who's now in the promo game? I mean, this guy, Mr. Brightside, I know Mr. Brightside. I've had a front row seat to what this guy has done. His name is Oswald Brightside, and he looks like a man that I'm sure you probably pay close attention to. I mean, any advice from him? Because he's going up against Alejandro Ajax, who's one of these up-and-comers that I really was excited a lot about with Texas Red a few weeks ago on Sportswire, but Mr. Brightside has now come to TPW, so I guess The irony of that, I'll get to that in a few minutes, but what's your impressions on this guy, Mr. Brightside, and any advice you might want to give him?
I like him personally. I think he's absolutely fantastic. The only advice I would give him is where he's now in the promo world. A lot of these guys, they take these things that we say personal, and you have to develop over years a thick skin, or you're just going to be forgotten about.
Yep.
When I first started, my name was not the Devil. It was Carnage with a K. And like I had this weird mask and everything, and it died out. And then I had to reinvent myself. So my advice would be keep things new and fresh.
Well, this guy definitely seems to do that. I'm just, I mean, like I would love to see you and him have a promo battle.
It's always possible.
I mean, that would be really fascinating. You know, a guy that some people compare to the Joker, you the Devil. I mean, some would say that you guys might be both the same person. And I mean, that would be a really interesting battle. I mean, I would even want to see you guys as a tag team in some ways.
I mean, anything can happen going into the new year. I mean, all the thing I have to do is really talk to, Rocky, see how things can go. But I'm pretty sure we can make that match happen.
I'll be very curious to see how Mr. Brightside hangs here in this Texas promo wrestling world. I'll be very curious about that. And I just found it ironic that Mr. Brightside's here in TPW because there's this other guy that's apparently now returning to Texas promo wrestling, and this guy named Anthony Steele. And these guys seem to be intertwined, and I can't wait to see the potential of Mr. Brightside and Anthony Steele in a promo battle. But in the meantime, we've got Alejandro Ajax and Mr. Brightside in a promo battle, but it's just a regular match. So I think that's just really fascinating. But this match you'll be paying attention to, but you've got to focus on your own match most importantly.
Absolutely, I pay attention to every match that comes out, and I sit in my locker room actually and watch it. So
wow. You are the Devil after all, right? So the Devil gets like the biggest locker room of them all, right?
Absolutely. I've got things that half the roster doesn't even imagine.
Well, I mean, that's obviously interesting. So let's talk about a couple of other matches we'll run through. And I'm really fascinated about Mr. Brightside. I really want to see that promo, but that'll be one we'll come back to. Another guy that you certainly know well, Lucifer, against Chase Sullivan, a man that kind of controversial figure in the backyard wrestling world. An okay guy, though. Elliot Creed, our new U.S. champion, against Elias, the deranged chef. I think that the deranged chef, I would want him to cook a meal. Lyra Limber and Travis Black. Obviously, some other great matches. There's just a lot of great stuff here. Check it all out. The TPW page. I'm going to put it up here in the chat. So if you want to follow TPW, I'll do that here. I'm going to put your YouTube link up here in a minute. So I'm going to take this off the screen and go like this. And if you want to follow TPW, you can do that. I'm going to put your page up here. So let me ask you this question, general question. I always we're going toward the end of the year. What are your goals coming up for 2025? Do you have any goals? What are your goals in 2025?
My goal number one is to try to teach as many people that are in my faction as possible the stuff that I know to better the promo world. And
good idea.
As a personal goal, I'm just trying to bring in as much gold as I can. And that's just, I've held a lot of titles in my career, and I'm just looking forward to expanding my horizon. I've been on Facebook for a very, very long time. I've done my stuff for a very long time. So Instagram, I'm new to. So it's a whole different world.
I think Instagram, I mean, Facebook, I do have more followers on Facebook, but I do feel that Instagram, what I like is, you are the Devil, but I'll break the character for a minute. What I do like about Instagram more is that I feel that most of your peers are on Instagram. So it's like with Facebook, it's like mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, uncle, aunt, next door neighbor. They're on Facebook and they're like, what are you doing? Like they don't get it. But on Instagram, I find it's more of like the people that are in your field, if that makes sense for on Instagram. So I feel like
I separated. That's why I separated like my personal profile from my actual character profile, because a lot of my family, if they would see half the stuff that I would do, I would be considered the black sheep of the family. Well,
you are the Devil. I mean, so I'm sure you certainly deal with a lot there. I mean, obviously
I do.
being the Devil.
Absolutely.
It's a full-time job being the devil. It's a full-time
Absolutely.
job.
Making deals, taking souls. Yeah, it's a whole
You and
thing.
Santa Claus. It's year round. 24/7. But yeah, it's a tough job here. But let me do this here first. Let me put up your YouTube channel. I want to talk about that in a minute. But do me a favor, go give Nathaniel a follow. He has definitely been one of those guys I've been very excited about to bring here for this. So if you're here, you have a chance. Do me a favor, go give him a sub. You're now over 100 subs. I think you came here. You were what in the chat at 90, right? What are we now at 111?
I was at I think I just hit 90 and now I'm already at like 111.
Yeah, so that means if you're here now for the first time, do me a favor, sub to his YouTube channel, and we're going to talk about that right now. So let me transition. So House of Rage Productions, for the audience that may or not be hearing this for the first time, what is House of Rage Productions?
House of Rage Productions actually came to be after I killed off my original faction, the name of it, but it's mainly an analog horror type content thing that I'm doing. I'm trying to tie in my actual surroundings of where I live in Appalachia into a story that's just conflicting with everyone has that inner evil that they don't get to show and they don't get to express. And this is like my outlet. If you look at every playlist that is on there, it is telling.
Yeah, we're gonna play a couple of videos here in a minute, so we're gonna talk about that in a second. Go ahead.
But it's telling a story of what's happening because everyone's asking me, is the devil ever going to really die? Is he going to go to someone else? I mean, because in a Christian sense, they believe that the devil is, he's got horns, he's big and evil, he's scary, but I question it a little bit. What if he was truly the good guy and God was the bad guy? And I know a lot of people in 2024 is going to be like, well, that's just too much, but
I don't think so. I think if you would have said that in like 1964, I would think people would have been like, "You're effing nuts." I think in this day and age, I mean, look at wrestling, right? I mean, there was a period of time where you had good guy versus bad guy, but then the bad guys started to be good guys. We think about the Attitude Era in wrestling. We talk about like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker is another example. D-Generation X. I mean, the NWO and WCW and, wrestlers that had, let's say, those devilish tendencies, they wound up becoming good. They wound up, people cheered. So, I mean, it's not a conspiracy to think that maybe whatever you want to call the devil in any form, shape, or another. And I am technically a reverend, but just objectively speaking, I mean, there are people that have good tendencies that are bad people. I mean, we watch movies, right? We watch TV shows. We watch a lot of different things. And it's not hard to fathom to think that there are people from all backgrounds that might have some good tendencies, but they have their reasons for doing things.
Yeah. And see, that's where the story really turns in all of the House of Rage production videos that I've done, because everything I do is wrestling related. I absolutely love wrestling. I've been like that since I was 3 years old, and my dad took me to my first wrestling event.
Oh, wow.
So it's to the point of, I want to tie in wrestling and horror because a lot of people don't do that. You look at people and they are like, so everyone loves Bray. God rest his soul. Everyone loves Bray. But Bray did it in a way that no one else could. No one can ever really, what am I trying to say? Imitate him to a perfection. And
well, it's like in guitar, people talk about like Eddie Van Halen, right? And Eddie Van Halen was obviously the guy that did the two-hand tapping, and everybody afterwards tried to be like Eddie Van Halen. There's one Eddie Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix, right?
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix was obviously the guy with the wah-wah pedal, and everybody. So, there's always one person, but there's never going to be that person. So if you were a fan of Bray Wyatt in that way, there's only one Bray Wyatt. So realistically speaking, anybody else going forward is just, imitation is just a great form of flattery, basically.
Yeah. So, and I agree 100%. I mean, even with WWE doing, the stuff with the Wyatt Six, it's not the same without Bray being there. And it's just, it'll never be the same.
Oh, listen, I mean, listen, and we see that in wrestling history altogether. We are here with the devil, Nathaniel Rage. He is also a part of Texas Promo Wrestling. He's also with the House of Rage Productions. He's the founder, director, owner of it. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. You have voiced figuratively and literally with all wrestling matters. But yeah, I mean, listen, look at ECW, right? WWE is, in the past, rebooted ECW. It
Mhm.
wasn't the same. We've seen WO WWE brings back in 2002, and it wasn't the same. So, obviously, when you do something for the first time, and everyone tries to, obviously bring it back, it doesn't work in most cases. But let's talk about a couple of these different things you have out there. I'd like to play
Mhm.
a couple things for the audience. So let's play some different things here. Let's go with this here. You have a series here. You've had a number of different shows. You've got a bunch of episodes, and
Mhm.
I like to, for the audience, play the most recent one. It's a very
Absolutely.
short one, so the audience can obviously join us with us. So let's go like this. I'm going to put the volume up. Normally I don't, but let's do it here now. So I'm going to go like
Now we're coming to you live with some breaking news. The snow continues to fall heavily along Appalachia, and there are still hundreds of thousands of hikers hiking that trail as we speak. And we have some new developing information about this snow virus. But first, I'm going to have you all turn to the screens and look at some upcoming footage that we have encountered now dealing with this new virus emerging. I strongly suggest that everyone in the Appalachian region and all across the country to stay in, stay safe, and God bless you all. Now, this footage is disturbing. However, viewer discretion is advised.
Found something just downright strange. Now, I've seen a lot of these everywhere, though, but I don't really understand what the meaning of it is. Wait, do you hear that?
My almighty's ponds are mighty beautiful. Thought I'd get some clips for my wife. But I gotta show you guys something. There's something up here. I keep seeing this fella in this red hood and these people behind him. They're inside of that thing right there. You figured there'd be a bear in your eye.
Well, that was certainly interesting. Obviously, you did mention God in there. I mean, that's kind of
Mhm.
ironic, right? The devil and God.
Yeah.
So, what did we watch for the audience? And tell us a little more about it.
So the whole point of this was to continue the series into what has happened prior. Sick is what happens when the devil and his vessel, Nathan and the devil, disappear, when they separate. And sick is starting to emerge more. But the snow virus, also known as S virus, is a virus that I'm trying to develop slowly. And as my occultists run through Appalachia and kidnap the hikers and such, which is, as I said, there are still countless hikers stuck along the Appalachian Trail in the storm. They're spreading it to everyone. So this virus is just like frostbite. You're going to freeze to death from the inside out, but you have a choice to either make it work where you join the devil and you become an occultist as well and as a follower of rage, or you become food basically for the devil and his followers. So that's what it is.
Now, let me ask you a follow up because that's fascinating. Well, what if somebody wants to, they join because obviously they don't want to be roadkill. They don't want to be, as the old Aesop's fable, they don't want to be the meal. But what if you decide, you know what? You don't want them. I mean, is there that option? Is there a third option where maybe they're just not good enough to join you?
Yeah, there is. We did this a while back in another place that I'm in UWO. I made a video called the Blood Eagle, which basically, if everyone knows what a Blood Eagle is, the Vikings did it. We had someone that I made up, an occultist known as Webb, who was a traitor that we added in, and he was telling secrets to the people that weren't true. So the way that really went was we strung him up as a Blood Eagle, and I never got to really truly finish the video in UWO, but it was going to have the authorities finding him frozen to tie into the series on YouTube.
Oh, wow. That's in depth. That's in depth. I mean, that's really in depth. And let's go back and play the prior video. It's a short one, and we'll certainly get to the chat in a few minutes. Hang on, I know people do want to talk to you, but let's go with this. It kind of explains a little bit more about It's All in the Snow. So let's go talk about It's All in the Snow. So.
I promise you, I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want you all to see how my imagery is. The most dangerous predators are in the snow.
All in the snow. It's all in the snow. Is that how easy this is? It's all in the snow?
Not really. However, the whole concept of the devil, if anyone knows what SCP Foundation is, I'm a fan of anything analog horror. So the devil is technically an SCP. So he is a global experiment. You know, that's just how people operate. And they're turned a normal human being from Appalachia into this experiment to terrorize humanity throughout the region of Appalachia. And he goes and in a prior video to this, he truly goes to look and find these people that are wandering in his forest, and he just takes action. And it turns into, he creates this virus to keep people away from Appalachia.
So this virus is really, you don't want really many people here, but the people that got here, I guess, did they get here before the virus was created?
Yes. So where I live in Appalachia, we get tons of snowfall on top of mountaintops and such. It's a lot.
I can imagine. So, I would imagine, let's say Rocky, probably when he sees snow, it's almost like a national emergency. It's almost like they have to call like the National Guard and the Marines and everybody else, because it's like where he lives, snow. Where it's almost like snow. It's almost like a normal thing. You probably have snow right now on the ground.
Not where I'm currently at, but on top of the hilltops, absolutely. There's at least a coating.
Close enough. I'm not going to complain here in New York when we get like to 20 degrees, when it's like, even though it's 60 right now, but so I won't complain near that. But this is really fascinating here. That though this is all of kind of something that's going to play out, that our audience can get a chance to watch here coming up on your YouTube channel. Is that accurate?
Yeah, there's more to come. So basically, the understanding of it is, if you have been following for as long as some people have, like such as my little brother, he is a big fan of everything that I do. So
good. Well, you better be.
Yeah. So like, he's even in some of these things as well.
Oh wow.
And yeah, he's oh, you're fine. He's been doing this a long time with me as well. He's sometimes in my promos, but the main thing that we do, I try to intake everything, because the devil eventually is either going to die, dissipate, or the story is just going to take a big turn that no one will expect.
And we see here, I mean, some previous stuff from the playlist, as you had mentioned them, and I wanted to show it up for the screen because we see you there, and you were part of a missing ripping hikers apart in the forest. I mean, maybe that really happens where you live. I mean, this is you could. I mean, this like you've used some form of, I guess, Nintendo meets analog horror. There you go. But this is really fascinating. You mentioned the cult. You got there from Charleston. I know Charleston very well, and this is really well done. This is well thought of there. I mean, this is very time consuming, it seems.
Yeah, that's the reason why the next video has not been out. I've been spending hours trying to do the thing that I've been wanting to do without giving too much away.
Don't do that here. Don't do that.
So like, I've been trying for like hours to get the perfect thing, and it is very time consuming. When I was making the third series into this, I have about 60 plus hours of editing time.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm certainly going to never complain about anything until once I hear that again. But, if you'd like to follow, I want to put the YouTube channel up here one more time. I know people want to talk to you. And that's actually, you got a lot of views on that video. So check them out. There's a bunch of them here. I want people to go to House of Rage Productions. Do me a favor. Go hit a sub. I've been pushing you a lot the last couple of weeks on YouTube, and I could certainly see why. So that's that. I'm going to put up your Instagram page in a second, but I think it's time now to talk to the chat. I got some people here that would like to say hello, some surprises. And speaking of some people here, where's the devil at? Well, he's here now, and he's here live in living color. And anything you want to say to anybody out there, specifically to Trex?
The devil is currently asleep. However, it just takes the right word to bring him out.
I was really thinking, I was joking with you off the air. I'll put it out there. I was thinking I was going to get the voice that I've seen in all these videos the last few weeks I've been watching. And I was like, oh, wait, that's not your voice? He's like, no. I was like, maybe we shouldn't do this interview. Then it was a joke. It was a joke. Just trying a career at stand-up comedy. But I do want to say hello to one of my buddies who's going to be here Friday night with me, Mr. Hillbilly Tilly, also from the South, from the great state of Alabama. Wanted to say hello. Yes, I'm looking forward to Friday to discuss some football, and he would like to say hello, Mr.
Well, hello.
How you doing? He's just saying hello. He's the general manager for the Alliance Wrestling League in the great state of Alabama. Yep, the great state of Alabama. But let me actually put your Instagram up before I get to some more comments. I do have a bunch of comments. Let's say hello to everybody. But there is on Instagram 100 followers. Congratulations. If you'd like to give another follow, make it here at Nathaniel Rage 78. And no, he's not 46 years old, just so you wonder. Nathaniel Rage 78. So, but check him out. That's on Instagram. You see, we'll come back and play a couple of these most recent videos. I want to talk to you about them, and we'll come back to some people in the chat. Zilla is a follower who's always here. We'd like to say hello to Nathaniel Rage. Yes.
Hi, Zilla.
How you doing? Yes, Zilla is definitely a fan. She says hello. And I gotta say, this is the person I wanted to bring up as a surprise. There's a guy, I'm sure you've heard of him, named DJB. You heard of him?
I know DJB.
And he messaged me on Facebook, and he was like, wait a minute, you know Nathaniel Rage? And I'm like, yeah, he's been in my streams on Sportswire the last few weeks. He's like, well, I've known him a really long time now. DJB is a big deal right now in the UK wrestling world. He's like a really big deal now with our friends. I finally got the hint after the past 3.5 years. Colory Community Wrestling. He does a lot for them. He's been involved in the storylines. He hosts shows for them. He's obviously a far better host than I am, so maybe you should speak to him rather than me. But so how do you know DJB? I think that's fascinating. Before I give DJB a nice little plug here, I mean, how do you guys know each other? He said you guys go way back.
We do. There's been a lot of controversy over the years, which I won't get into. Don't
do that. I've had enough of that with backyard pedos on Sportswire.
A lot of stuff that happened, but like I know him because SME. They are the talk of the promo. Yeah, the talk of the promo wrestling world right now on Facebook, and DJB. They are doing phenomenal work, because I never thought in a million years that this would go on and be a bigger thing than it could ever be. I thought I'd just do it for a couple years and be done. But when you look at the stuff that, that DJB's done, it's great. And like, I do watch some of the stuff that he puts out, and I've been watching CCW for a little bit.
CCW, I've been covering them for 3+ years. Before DJB was a thing there, they have been my longest tenured wrestling company from anywhere. I'm doing this 6 years, and they've been here for almost, I'm on video for 3.5 years. They've been here almost the entire time on the video. CCW, they're really a company that gets it. There's a lot of UK companies, even wrestling companies in general, but really in the UK that like, they just, the same old stuff. The same people wrestle the same people, and it's almost like it's bland, vanilla. CCW always changing the game, and they do it for the community, and I love CCW.
I've known DJB for a very long time, so like he's a legend on Facebook.
He is.
He's a Hall of Famer on there. So
I'm trying to get him in my Hall of Fame on Sportswire. I gave him a day already. I mean,
Well, a
We're
lot of the
trying.
guys on there, they look up to him, and with good
Yeah.
reason, because like if
He's a
it
good
wasn't for DJB, Scott West, and Shady,
Yes.
none of this
I think
would
I
have
met
grown.
Scott. I think I met Scott backstage. I think, right, DJB, if you're here, did I meet Scott one time when I interviewed you the first time? I think I did. I Scott's name I definitely know very well.
But yeah, I've known him for a very, very long time.
Wow.
And there was a lot of stuff that I did in the past that with my character that I'm not proud of, and a lot of stuff that I said that just trying to get over and get that popularity, and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back at it now, I regret it, because a lot of the people in that game, just on Facebook, there's so many legends that's come and gone.
Yeah.
But DJB actually trained one of my good friends, Dante Black. I don't know if you know who he is.
I heard
But
the
he-
name. Yeah, I heard the name.
Yeah, was a part of the cult, and he's done so many things in the past 2 years that I'm personally proud of. So
Yeah, I gotta be honest, DJB, he really, if I could say, he really put CCW further up the ladder, because what he did for CCW, which a lot of, I think, wrestling, and even, especially UK companies, don't have, is that he gave them a wider social media presence because of what he does with the video streaming, what he does putting up all the matches and the Patreon page and the YouTube channel, connecting that from Facebook and everything. I think what he's done, and this is why CCW has such a leg up, is because DJB really expanded them from just this company that was in the Facebook group. If you were in the Facebook group, you were there, but now you have the YouTube where you can watch them on YouTube. 500 plus subscribers. Do me a favor. If you're here right now, go hit a sub button for them. They're on the road to 1,000. Instagram now. They got X now. They got all these different places. The Patreon page. So DJB, without DJB, and I know this because I know almost that entire locker room, I don't know if those wrestlers would be as tech savvy as they would be without DJB, because he sets up all their streams. You know, Winds of Change now, which Sylphrina has, and you got the Elite Show, which I know DJB hates, and you've been Strange, him and Strange. I mean, all these different shows, the aftermath of the match show or the live event shows that they have. You know, we just saw what took place at a Colory Christmas Carol and Survive to Thrive, all these different shows. It's all because of DJB. They didn't have this really. You know, when I started with them, they didn't have those things. So without DJB, that company would not have the presence. So he's really as important to me as the wrestlers are, because he's given CCW a further foothold, and he's been, you know, a huge part of their storylines too. You know, he's undefeated in Carnage Championship Wrestling. He'll remind everybody of that. So, like, he's really been an integral figure in the What a Small World. And that's the CCW page. You know, do me a favor, go hit a sub, go get CCW to 1,000 subs. They're at 523. And I remember, like I said, when they didn't have anything. I mean, you know, which is Facebook, just Facebook. So there they have it. But there you go. We'll take this off the screen. Yes. Hello to Colory Community Wrestling. I won't say who told them to be called Colory Community Wrestling, because they do a lot in the community. They do a lot for charities. They do a lot for those, for the needy, the sick, a lot of different things. And I think this is the new Light in the Dark champion. I'm pretty sure it is the Light in the Dark champion, Spawn. Congratulations to Spawn on winning the big one. He was here on Friday. I think you were watching that. And
I was. I'm a fan of Spawn.
Yeah, well, I think maybe you should recruit him into your group. But he's the Light in the Dark champion. I know how that would work. But hello there. And speaking of people, RI to the CO, Rico Justice. I don't know if you're a fan of RI to the CO, but he's trying to get back the TAG Tag Team Championships. He's trying to get those tag team titles back, but he did say good evening, and we'll get him back on the show. I want to say hello to my buddies out there in beautiful Roseburg, Oregon. BTW, Born to Wrestle. I'm not quite sure how far you are from Oregon, but if you're here right now, do me a favor. BTW's got 3,000 plus subscribers, and some friends of Sportswire are going to be in BTW, and I'm going to ask you soon about your wrestling journey, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But in the meantime, while you're here, do me a favor. Go hit a sub button for BTW in beautiful Roseburg, Oregon. That's right, Roseburg, Oregon, and Appalachia, West Virginia. Almost the same thing. Well, not really. I mean, the weather's probably a lot colder where you are, but I think the look is probably very similar. But go hit a sub, check them out. They're awesome. Let's see what we got in the chat. Hello to Elite Tier member. Yes, because it's no longer the Elite 2.0. They merged top tier and the Elite. Who else we got? Speaking of people, Big Quiff looks like Kevin McAllister shagged a Tic Tac. Now, do you want to explain to us what this is and who is here telling you that you look like Kevin McAllister from Home Alone and with a Tic Tac?
Honestly, I have no idea who that is, but I have been called Kevin McAllister. I have been called MJF. I've been called lots of names. So I'm used to things.
Well,
like
you're
this.
the devil, so you're probably like, well, I'll make sure when he's sleeping at night, I'll make sure that he'll be, let's just say, not like sleeping with one eye open, rather he'll be sleeping 6 feet under. So, okay, well, thank you, BXREA. But if you want to BINGO, hit a sub for House of Rage Productions. We'd appreciate that alongside Sportswire Radio 6579. The devil may rise again. Not saying anything yet. Who else we got here? Also, as I mentioned, Trex is here, and the devil is my favorite right now. Anything you want to say? Anything related to that, or not really?
I appreciate that because a lot of people, as DJB knows, they hate me with a passion.
So why do they hate you? Is it because you're the devil? Is it because you just want to, kill people in the promo game? So why do they hate you? I mean, is it the same hate as Gunshot gets? Because Gunshot's hate is certainly, let's just say, like it's Xbox 2000 type. I think
a lot of people, they don't like me because of the line that I cross with being the devil and mentioning God back and forth.
I have Anthony Steele here like every other day. Like I feel like he's crossed the line like far worse than you probably have.
Well, with that and some past things that happened in the past, that a lot of people don't like me, but they see me as some people in the promo world see me as a jobber and some others don't, but it's how you look at the perspective of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I kind of fall in the wins and losses category. Is like I think if you're having a good time, if you're doing what you want to do, to an extent it matters, to an extent it doesn't. I don't know if I fall into the category you've got to win every time, and I don't know. But if you want to follow the Verbal Warfare promo game, go out there and follow them. They got a lot of followers, and just follow them. Just trust me on that. Who else we got here in the chat? I'd rather eat a bowl of glass without any milk. So this person doesn't know you, right?
Not a clue. I really don't know who he is.
Okay, so it's probably somebody from your past, right? Let's put it that way. Wow. Okay. Zilla does like you.
I know. I see him on the chat.
Zilla likes everyone, which is good. Except Soldier GP, not so much. But want to say hello to my friend, Mr. Kyle Shelby. Kyle Shelby's in the house from Universal Champions of Action. I got to give Kyle a big follow. Kyle's in the house. Kyle has got some shows up front, and Kyle's a member of ROEW, which is in Michigan. I'm not sure how far Michigan is from you, but you never say never. Let me give Kyle a nice little plug. Kyle's always here in the chat, and he's got 15 subscribers, and get him to 16. Somebody sub to his page. He needs more subscribers, and that's his page. And his last show actually got a lot of views, so he's on the way up. Give him a follow. I'd appreciate it. You'd appreciate it. And who else? What has he got? Oh, there we go. I think I missed a couple comments. Did you all go to the gym today? Were we supposed to go to the gym?
I have no idea. I was too busy putting up Christmas stuff because my wife told me to.
You're the devil. I just think that's so ironic. But I mean, I pretty much exercise every day. I'm a newspaper carrier and I walk like 10 miles. So that's my thing. But every day. James Taylor is at the gym every day, though, because his gym's in his home. Okay, well, that's a good answer. Lucky James Taylor. Nathaniel Rage, good to see you in the brightest light. So he's enjoying it. So there's still a gym. Currently training for a special something. I mean, maybe the Olympics. I don't know. Who else we got here? Eyes. Okay. Hello. Who else we got? What else we got here? Hi. Good to see you, James. Good to see you.
Hi.
I'm going to DM you if you're interested. Who are we talking about? What else we got? Yep. Hello to DJB. Okay. Yep, CCW puts in the work, the time. They are no strangers to the grind, the pinnacle, the absolute mecca of sports and entertainment in the UK. Pretty well I apologize for my previous statement was feeling a bit like a rascal. So, all right, well.
Okay. Well, accepted.
I'll accept it. Yeah, sure. Why not? It's the holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Three Kings Day, and Happy whatever else you celebrate out there. And hit us up to House of Rage Productions, by the way. Hit us up to CCW. Hit us up to Nathaniel Rage on Instagram. Check him out there. Check him out at YouTube. Give him a sub. I mean, keep the subs trains going. So we'll take care of all that. Be a rascal. BXREA. Rascal it up. Thanks, Kyle. Real one you like. Yeah, it sounds good. Who else we got? I think we're good on the comments. So we got some of them out of the way for now. So maybe I'll play. I do have something for you because you are the devil. And I want to make sure that I'm not in the crosshairs of the promo world before I get to some other events. Let's play one or two of your recent videos on Instagram so we can get a sense of what's to come. So let's play this here for the audience. I want to check it out. I want to get your reactions. So we'll do that here right now for the audience. I'm going to go like this here. So here we go.
VPW. I don't care if you dislike me. I don't care if you hate me. But you will fucking respect me. For now, I have truly solidified myself as the king of Appalachia. Come to Appalachia.
So tell us here, you're the king of Appalachia, and a little bit about what we just saw.
So, in that, I just won my first, which I was proud of it because of being a fellow West Virginian. I won the WVPW, which is West Virginia Promo Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. And after I won it, I was on a break for at least a week, and I feel like I earned it after all the work that I've been putting in everywhere, Facebook, Instagram, and even on my YouTube. And I wanted to come out strong and very methodical with the way that I said that, because a lot of the guys, they don't know who I am, but they see someone just wearing a mask and a red hood, and they just think, oh, it's a costume cosplayer.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
But yeah, that's pretty much what it was for. But it was more like of every promo I do. I know a lot of people see the static in the beginning. I try to make it look like it's a hacking, like a hijacking of a broadcast that we take over.
It's like important. This is why you need to watch, because something's about to happen.
Yeah.
And you need to pay attention very closely. I understand that. That makes a lot of sense.
That's why.
Go ahead, jump in.
That's why every video has static, because eventually it will get to the point of a little surprise will happen on YouTube where I'm not going to go into too much, but where a national broadcast from the cult gets played.
Well, I do remember there was a famous cult that was talked about. I was a little kid, and they used to mention a lot. This guy, David Koresh, he had this big cult in Texas. And
yes, Waco.
Yeah, Waco. And I do remember hearing a lot about that. So hopefully it's not to that level. But, okay, you said West Virginia. So what was West Virginia promo wrestling like? And what is West Virginia like? I mean, I interview a few wrestlers who go up to wrestle in West Virginia, because Pennsylvania and West Virginia, it's sort of three rivers. You got Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio. You guys are all kind of near each other. It depends where you are in the Pennsylvania area. So I hear a little bit about West Virginia and the independent wrestling circuit. So what is West Virginia like, and what is the West Virginia promo wrestling company there like, where you won the title?
Well, West Virginia, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. One week it could be like Florida. Next week it could be like the North Pole. The
That's
weather,
like New York right now. Listen, it was 20-something degrees a couple days ago. Now I went outside. I could have put my shorts on again. Yeah, sounds like New York.
Because back in the summer, we had like a little bit of a cold spell, but we was in a drought. And one week it feels like that it's 102 degrees, and the next week it's like 20 degrees. So it depends where you really live. But the people in West Virginia, which I know a lot of them, they get a bad rap. And a lot of people, they watch the movies like Wrong Turn and they immediately think we're all cannibals and we're all incest, which isn't the case. There's a lot of good people throughout Appalachia, and I love it. Absolutely living here. If I could move, I won't lie. Yes, I would move in a heartbeat. Someplace a little colder or a little warmer. Whatever the missus decides, I guess, is when that'll happen. But as for West Virginia Promo Wrestling, I recently just showed up there, but it's the talent that really pours it in there. Like Soulstar, he's there.
Yes,
and
I know Soulstar. Yes, we spoke about him with Rocky. Yep.
He's absolutely fascinating. And there's so many other people as well, but in the promo game, you don't see a lot of people from West Virginia doing this.
No, that's why I was curious. What was that like? I mean, I know a little bit about independent wrestling. I know Pennsylvania guys go up to West Virginia, and I have to make you laugh. Have you ever heard of Rocky's Pizza in West Virginia?
Yes.
You know Rocky's Pizza? What a small world. So these guys that I have come on here, a bunch of them have wrestled at Rocky's Pizza. Is Rocky's Pizza like the be-all, end-all? Like, what is Rocky's?
I know very little about it, but I do know it.
Okay.
There's a lot of places around West Virginia, and a lot of people, from my understanding, professional wrestling started in West Virginia, in Beckley, West Virginia. There's a whole museum down there. So a lot of people in West Virginia, they absolutely love it. But the place that I know that gets the most clout of anybody would be Big Time Pro Wrestling.
Yes, I heard of Big Time Pro Wrestling. Yes, I have. Yes, I definitely heard of that. Wow. Okay. What a small. You knew. I was like, you know what? It's a small enough place. I have a feeling he's going to know about it. I just, for whatever reason, I mentioned Rocky's Pizza because there's a couple of companies I do some work with. Amplified Enterprise Pro Wrestling. They've done stuff there at Rocky's Pizza. There's a few other guys I know in Pennsylvania. So, all right. So, you know what? That's great.
Actually, there's a place in West Virginia where you can order food, and there's a ring right there where you can just wrestle around in it.
Oh, that's so cool. You know, that is so cool. You know what I just saw the other day? It was GCW was in the in the American Dream Mall in New Jersey, and my mother happened to be there. She's like, "Wow, you got to be there. You know, you talk to all these wrestlers on Sportzwire. Maybe they'll know who you are." I'm like, "Nah, they ain't gonna know who I am. I ain't gonna go from where I am to go to run into the American Dream Mall." But I do see people in the mall sometimes. Like I know Pennsylvania, there's a couple of companies they run in like a big mall, which is I always thought was pretty cool. So. That's pretty cool. Let me play your most recent video on Instagram before I give you something and talk about what the future might be. So let me pull this up, and you tell me what I just saw.
Everyone's asking the question, where have I been? Better question, where am I going?
Play it one more time.
Everyone's asking the question, where have I been? Better question, where am I going?
Where have you been? But better question, where am I going?
Yes.
Where am I going?
So, back in 2022, I got a neck injury, and it took me completely out of action.
Sure.
The doctors even looked at me, and they're like, "You can go do it, but if you do, you're going to either end up paralyzed or you're just not going to be able to do the things for everyday life."
Sure.
And I've not been in a ring since 2022. I've not even been in a backyard wrestling promotion since 2022. Recently, I have been to the doctors, and I'm cleared. So,
Whoa! Time out. Now, I got the point where you just said 2022, haven't been in the ring. Doctor said you obviously have some serious risk if you go out there, but you just tell me something. Can you repeat that again? Because my ears might have to be checked.
I'm cleared to compete.
Whoa! Wait a minute. The devil, Nathaniel Reyes, not only is taking the promo world by storm, but is now 100% medically cleared to return to a wrestling ring near you?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa! I mean, boy, gunshot won't show up to that one. Whoa! Whoa! I mean, that's a huge development. You're back. You're ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Now I might need to get into the gym for a little bit, but other than that, I mean, I'm ready to go. So I can show up any place, any time, anywhere.
Any time, any place, anywhere?
Mm-hmm. I've been eyeing on some promotions for quite some time after I got the news, which was in late November.
Now, interesting, late November, you started to surface on Sportswire. Now, if I could, now I realize that I don't want to, you're the devil, and I don't want to certainly, let people know some of your plans, but any promotions that stand out or come to mind, or promotions that you've been eyeing about potentially maybe resurfacing in? I mean, I'm just wondering.
Well, my actual brother he's about to make something with our family, like a promotion. He's in the slow works of doing that, but I have been eyeing a few places here that you've had on and that you've mentioned.
Yeah, a few of them that I would know, huh?
Yeah, CSW.
Oh, wait, I know CSW. That's Abraham Storm and his company in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I know Abraham Storm, and Abraham Storm's back on Sportswire next week. Of course,
I mean, anything can happen. See, the devil's cleared to compete, and I used to say this all the time when I did compete. I can show up anywhere, anytime, with anybody.
Now, Abraham Storm, why Abraham Storm? I mean, Abraham Storm and CSW, I mean, obviously, a guy I know very well. I mean, but why him? Why him and his company, CSW?
I see a great way to expand and make that company thrive even more. But I also see the talent and the passion from each and every single wrestler. And there's a couple other places that I've been eyeing, but I'm not going to give away too many secrets in case.
Yeah, I wouldn't, but CSW, Abraham Storm, the Thunder. I mean, he's the thunderous one, and he's a guy that's certainly looking to make a name for himself in West Virginia, North Carolina, and you are targeting him.
I could be. There could be many people that I'm targeting, but as I said, I can show up with anybody. And if anybody knows who I used to be, I have former cult members that can go at any time with me.
So you guys are like sleeper cells almost. Just any time you guys could appear.
Yeah.
CSW. Abraham Storm. He's here next Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Now, I'm sure that one you'll be tuning into, maybe with some certainly vested interest, right? You'll be tuning into that one then, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many places I've been eyeing for a while. But see, CSW, they just have this different type of passion. And
yeah,
I'm drawn to that because I'm always interested in helping the I can't say the younger potential group coming up because I'm 22 years old, but helping the people around my
you
generation.
are younger than Abraham. I mean, you are certainly younger than him. I mean, so I would say from that standpoint, I mean, you wouldn't be as old as, James Taylor. I mean, but that's a different show for a different time, respectfully speaking. But I mean, I don't even know if I should do this or not, but I'm going to do it because Abraham Storm's here next Tuesday. Now, you're the devil. I know you're obviously working on some devilish plans in the devil's workshop, but I mean, should I bring your name up next Tuesday night? Should I even, I don't know, send you an invite to talk to this Abraham Storm or just don't even go there?
I mean, if you would like, I will see if I'm not busy. But if you,
I know you're obviously getting ready. Obviously, again, you're going to deliver lumps of coals to those that deserve it. I know you're going to obviously be focused on, whatever plans in the South Pole, plans in the North Pole. But I mean, only up to you. I know you're a very busy man. You are the devil after all. Just to even have you here tonight on Sportswire Radio is a big deal. But only if it's something you want. Now, if you didn't, and I'll certainly, though, if you like, I can relay this message to Abraham Storm that you certainly are interested in what he brings to the table and bring you up Tuesday night next week.
Absolutely. Yeah. Relay the message.
Well, you know what? I'm going to do that. And I didn't see that name coming. And you've also mentioned some other places that you're interested in, but you're not going to reveal those names here yet, right?
Not yet, because I have some methodical evil plans that could be happening.
But that Mr. Brightside guy, he wrestles in a promotion too, Mr. Brightside. I would think that'd be interesting to you and Mr. Brightside. I'll tell you what, that would be very interesting. I hope that if I could for a second, if you don't mind, I would hope that Texas Red is watching this when he eventually does, that he figures out what would be best for business is to put you and Mr. Brightside together in some form, because you're the devil, he's the Joker. I mean, I think that would certainly be pretty interesting for business. And I would love to even see you two guys meet here live on the platform and have a chat. I mean, it could be friendly, could be evil. I don't know what it could be, but I think that would be very fascinating.
Absolutely. And I think people should be watching all platforms coming soon, because as I said, I am clear to compete, and where I have people that are willing to go that extra mile to go with me anywhere, what's not to say that we can come into a locker room or a show and just disrupt it?
Well, that's what Mr. Brightside's been doing to this guy, Anthony Steele. I mean, it's like he's just been targeting him time and time again. And, I didn't see that one coming here, because, ladies and gentlemen, the news here is that the devil Nathaniel Rage, the House of Rage Productions founder and certainly superstar coming up here in Texas Promo Wrestling, now can medically cleared of all activity. He's 100% cleared, and he's able to go back out there in the wrestling ring. And one of the places he wants to wrestle in is CSW, where Abraham Storm wrestles in. And that's a bombshell development that is certainly going to be the talk of the wrestling world. And I have no doubt Abraham Storm's here next Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time, right before the big guy comes down the chimney. And I'll have to see if Abraham Storm's getting a lump of coal or maybe his biggest Christmas gift to date. Time will tell. Let me see some comments here. I have a question for the devil Nathaniel Rage. Have you ever wrestled before? Well, you just answered that.
Yeah.
So I think you just answered that pretty much, so I don't have to really go into that.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, look, I got to give a shout out to one of my buddies who's here right now, and I got to do that because he's tuned in also from the UK. Now, this guy you don't know, but he's actually working on something that you'd probably like to check out. His name is Mr. Luke Leyland. Luke Leyland has something really interesting that I think people should really keep an eye on. I'm going to put it up here for a second for the audience, because Luke is obviously somebody that's been a big supporter of ours here on Sportswire Radio, and I want to put this up for the audience because if you'd like to check it out, Luke is doing Armored MMA. Armored MMA. I know you are the devil, but something tells me that you won't be competing in Armored MMA anytime soon. But Luke is doing
I have
that.
seen this though.
Yeah, it's really like it's out there. Yeah, and this guy comes from a wrestling background. He's trained by Dean Olmark. I mean, this guy's boxed. He's done Dambe, which is basically like an African version of MMA. But Mr. Leyland is now trying his hands in Armored MMA. Now, I know some people would have liked you and Gunshot to have had an armored promo battle, but only difference though would that be Gunshot would be getting probably all the let's just say swords and knives at him. But I like Gunshot actually. But the point is that Luke is doing something that people should check out. If you'd like to check it out, that's his YouTube channel. You can watch it here. David Hart, the director, has been very kind to us on Sportswire, and he's got like 500 views. It's funny. Luke was like, hey, do you think you could help me plug this? I'm like, yeah, I'll help you plug. He was at like 50 views. Now he's at like 40-something subs and 500 views. So we'll just keep plugging it. Check it out. Thank you, Luke. He also says good luck to you on your return. Anyone up to anything interesting tonight? Yeah, I'm here 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Speaking of guys that are the devil, there's this guy, Omen Black. He's here on Sportswire Radio. He's here 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. He is here to have a winter clash battle almost like a promo battle with this guy, Mephisto, who's the IMF World Champion. You can check that out here live, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope you checked it out. Check out Nathaniel's page on YouTube. Also, check me out. I'm at Sportswire Radio 6579, so give me a sub. I'd appreciate that. So hang out with us. Just going to ignore me like that. I think Zilla says hello. Thought we had a real connection. We're joking around. Yeah, there we go. We're joking. Hello. Abraham Storm's not here, but okay, fine. Maybe he won't be here after what you just said to the world. We're good with that. Okay, I think it's time for me to present to you something because I did promise you, like, you know, after all, you are the devil, and I don't certainly want to be in the crosshairs for you, sir. So let me pull this up for the audience. Let me get it up here. So let me take this off the screen. So for those that are listening and watching here, in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, we might even be, some would say, in the devil's workshop, but now officially will be here on Sportswire Radio. It will now be House of Rage Productions Day on Sportswire Radio. So there you have it. Congratulations on this date, December 17th. It's here on YouTube, LinkedIn, X, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, sportswireradio.org, Tumblr. You name a place, you name a platform. It is now House of Rage Productions Day. Congratulations, because after all, you are the devil, and I certainly don't want to be in the crosshairs of the devil. I wanted to make sure that we gave you a little something tonight.
I appreciate that.
You know, it is the holidays. I mean, you know, ho, 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 Merry Christmas, if that's something.
Well, I'm Krampus. It's fine.
It's funny. It's funny. Okay, we'll take that off the screen. Okay, so I'll give you the physical copy when we're off the air. So let's come back here to a couple of things. What would be some of your final words to Devin Adams before the hype and the match promos that we'll see here coming up this weekend?
If you think Freddy Krueger is scary, wait until you see what I do.
It's a good one.
I would say it's pretty much simple.
It's a good one. That's a good line. I think that's pretty short and sweet and simple to the point. And I always think when I think of Freddy Krueger, you know, it's where Johnny Depp actually got his start in his acting career. You know, the first Nightmare on Elm Street. That's actually a good one. So what will it be like the moment you return to the ring? What will that moment be like when you return to the ring in 2025? What will it be?
It will either be a holy shit moment or it's going to be something that a lot of people is going to either be very, very well interested in or very, very well terrified in. Because as the years have gone on, a lot of people don't know how I got my name, the devil, because I've had nicknames. I've been called the Messiah, the Satanic Messiah, and now we're at the devil. And they all correlate with what's happening now. So for the devil to return, as everyone knows this joke, I don't know if you do, I guess hide people's grandmas or they're going to get curb stomped.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard it before. I've heard it. That's a good. Well, it's a good way to look at things, or maybe not. I mean, well, it's pretty much simple to the point. You know, what were one or two memories that you had in the ring? What were some of one or two of your favorite moments out there in the backyard and in the wrestling?
Oh, absolutely. My first World Heavyweight Championship, I was versing my little brother, and he was we were just playing around, but our family was there. And you know, for a very long time, I was called the black sheep. I was the emo teenager. I mean, that's how I was. And my brother was this golden boy, and we fought. And it's even on my Instagram of the stuff that I used to do. But there's a clip on there of a promo where I bust myself open. And it was all on accident at first, and then it actually just happened. But we had a bloody battle, and we ended up hugging it out. But I had my first World Heavyweight Championship because of my brother.
Oh, wow. That's a kind of interesting, you know, because of your brother, you win your first world title. That's really cool. That's really cool. It's a cool moment, kind of intertwined family moment. That's gotta be a good feeling.
Absolutely. I mean, he got his revenge. He stomped my head, but you know, I mean,
well, you didn't have to bring that part up because hey, I won the world title at my brother's expense. But if you want to buy some merchandise, I got the merchandise link there. Maybe I'll buy some merchandise. At this point, you know, the devil Nathaniel Rage. I own so many wrestling shirts that I actually probably need like a whole house to store them. Well, no joke at this point because people know that I can afford them. But actually, they're 35% off sale. I mean, you can buy some really cool stuff here. $16 here. Don't Cross the Devil. House of Rage Productions, $16. 90s transparent cult tee. It's funny, the 90s. I just saw a movie. You'd probably like it, the Y2K movie. It's the horror movie, kind of like it's set in time. And the 90s, think of I Know What You Did Last Summer and Can't Hardly Wait. I mean, when
Oh yeah.
Jennifer Love Hewitt looked like really good, and now she looks like a TV soccer mom. But that's a different time and a different stage. I certainly say recommend it, but forget about that. But want to buy some merchandise? Check them all out. I'm gonna definitely check it out here in beautiful. Let me see if I get it right. Clendenin, West Virginia. Did I get it right?
Yes, Clendenin, West Virginia. That's my hometown.
You know why I think of it? Because there was a famous player for the New York Mets whose name was Don Clendenin. He was Don Clendenin. But speaking of people, Rocky has arrived. Rocky is here, and Rocky, you'll definitely check out the beginning of the show because we talked a lot about TPW. We talked about Devin Adams and what the devil himself, Nathaniel Rage, is going to.
How about this?
It's going to be a really interesting match. I'm really excited to see that, actually.
How about this, Rocky? How about the beginning of the year, whenever TPW does it, we have Brightside versus the Devil.
Oh, yes, Brightside versus the Devil, yes.
Hell in a Cell.
Oh man, I can't wait for that.
Brightside versus the Devil in a Hell in a Cell. How does that sound?
Oh my God, seriously? You listen, Rocky. I tell you what. You gotta make that match. Listen to me. Everyone's talking about Steel and Brightside. To me, the Devil and Brightside. I mean, the world may never be the same. They may never be the same again. We gotta do it. I mean, Oswald Brightside's back on Sportswire this week. He's here Thursday night. I am going to ask him about this, Oswald Brightside. I am going to ask Mr. Brightside about this. Oh my God, hell is frozen over. Hell is frozen over if that's the case. The only way you can find out more information and tell Rocky your opinion on this, Texas Promo Wrestling Instagram. Yeah. And Rocky just said he smells a pay-per-view match.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it better be. It better be.
Money.
You know what? That might be more money than Anthony Steele and Oswald Brightside because of just the similarities and yet differences. It's just unbelievable. I mean, I can't wait for it. We have more TPW coverage coming up here in the next week or so. Stay tuned for more details. And if you want to follow Nathaniel Rage, just check out all the stuff here. I mean, you can see just, the many different things he's got there. And don't just ignore the marker thing, but just look at the House of Rage production stuff. And you can see just, the 10 tier and boy, yeah, really, that's where you're going to see all the compounds from the compound here. And focus on the stuff here that he's got about himself with the dog. Yeah, even the dog is obviously, we're sorry about the dog, by the way. We do miss your dog.
It was a long time ago. He was my best friend, but a lot of that stuff ties into my wrestling stuff because
I've rescued a few pets before, just to let you know. I rescued 2 before, so I'm okay with the pets, but go ahead. You can say.
Yeah, my dog, he was a Rottweiler mixed with a wolf mixed with a husky, and
wow, yeah,
he was a big boy.
He might be bigger than me. Wow, yeah, that's really fun. Yeah, he's a big dog. I definitely want to get on it. I don't want to get on his bad side. I want to be on his bright side. So, all right, well, we had a lot of fun tonight. We got the announcement. I mean, I think it's fun. It's also House of Rage Day, and I know Rocky's back here next month. We have a lot to talk about, and this Anthony Steele guy is back on next Sunday to talk about his birthday, and I'm sure you and others will be there to talk about him with that. And before we sign off, is there anything else you want to talk about tonight?
Yeah, actually, because you said you mentioned the devil. You thought you'd get this weird voice, but
yeah,
I thought I'd just give it to you now. Boys, I'm watching everything that you do. And I want to make this crystal clear. Backyard wrestling, indie wrestling, professional wrestling, boxing, MMA, I don't really care. I can show up anytime, anywhere with anybody. I'm watching Steel, I'm watching Brightside, and I'm watching every other person. So keep this in mind. If you really want to make a deal with the devil, come to Appalachia.
Ladies and gentlemen, certainly don't shout at the devil. Certainly don't make any deals with the devil unless you know what you're getting into. Because the devil, Nathaniel Rage, has definitely, let's just say, spoken like a devil. But the devil's workshop is far from done. It's only just begun.
Absolutely.
It certainly takes us to, let's say, his war coming up this weekend with Devin Adams. to maybe potential stops in CSW now that he's medically cleared to return to the wrestling ring, and maybe introducing himself to the one and only Oswald Brightside. This was a Sportswire radio show for the ages. And while you're at it, go follow him on YouTube, House of Rage Productions. Check out merchandise, Instagram. There's just so many ways to get in touch with him. Hit that sub button for him. Hit that follow, like. Tell your friends that the devil is here and the devil is only just getting started. Yeah, Zilla, that's what I want to see too. And I got Oswald Brightside coming back to Sportswire as soon as this Thursday. And I'm going to certainly bring them up. And Abraham Storm is here next Tuesday night. Oh, you better believe you're going to be a topic. You're going to be a big topic with Abraham Storm next Tuesday night. Now I got something to talk about with him. And let's just say we're going to see what he has to say. And the last thing I'll say is, anybody ever ask you to come out to shout out the devil for Motley Crue?
Nah. But I will say this before we go. A lot of my inspiration comes from the band Bad Omens. Because
I know Bad Omens. I do know them. Okay. I've listened to them a lot on Sirius XM. I've heard of them, sure.
Oh, yeah. So Bad Omens and Motionless in White, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, a lot of the wrestlers that come on, when I ask them sometimes about music, and I've heard Motionless in White come up as a reference. I've heard them come up. Yeah, I just would have thought shout at the devil for whatever reason. You know, shout at the devil, shout at the devil for whatever reason. I just thought would have came up, you know. But obviously you're a busy man. We don't want to get on your bad side because you'll shout at me.
What actually brought the before we go, the actual character of the name, the devil, was a lyric from Bad Omens. I got hooked on it, and it just. I even got a shirt that says it from my heresy days. It says, "The devil came and lit the way."
That's a good line. That's a devil came and lit the way. It's kind of really, that's really poetic. That's why you're the man in the world of House of Rage Productions, and you are the devil. And I think now I'm going to pass the baton to you, give you some closing thoughts. I'm really excited to see what the future is for you, and hope to have you on Sportswire very soon to, at the very least, meet Mr. Brightside. Boy,
oh yes,
you meet Mr. Brightside. I want you to meet him. I want you to meet him. I want you to meet him.
We can make that happen on here.
I'll make it happen. I know Mr. Brightside for a long time. I know Mr. Brightside. I can't believe he's in the promo world. I'm like, he's made it. Well, you know what? He hasn't quite made it yet because he hasn't met the devil himself, Nathaniel Rage. But in the meantime, I'm giving you the floor, sir, and I want to give you some closing thoughts and anything else you want to plug, share, or say. Be my guest.
I'm also on X. I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook. If you all ever have any questions, promo related or non-promo related, hit me up on my Nathaniel Rage Facebook. That is mainly where I am always communicating with people on there. I don't usually use my main at all. If people know who I am, they know who I am.
Yeah, I don't do wrestlers like real names on Facebook.
Yeah, that's how.
I don't do it.
So if you all ever have any questions, just let me know. But there is more to come for House of Rage Productions coming forward with the new year. There will be a video coming out very, very soon. When? I just don't know. I'm already at 70
You're the
hours.
devil. I mean, you're not going to tell us anyway.
Yeah, I'm at 70 hours of editing time already for this one video.
Oh, well, Jesus Christ. I mean, as my dad would say growing up in Brooklyn, New York, he'd say, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, as I did something really bad. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. That's what pretty much how that sounds like.
But if you're interested in being a follower of the devil,
yeah,
all you have to do is understand Appalachia is a different type of mindset. And if you can truly get past of the Wendigos, the Skinwalkers, and all the little cryptid creatures they want to parade in books, you can find me where the death smells.
I'll tell you what, I may live across the street from a cemetery, but it ain't pales into comparison into what I heard from Nathaniel Rage. Go follow him, House of Rage Productions, Nathaniel Rage 78 on Instagram. Check him out on Facebook. Check him out on X. And let me say hello to one of my buddies before I sign off, Mr. Barry Gutman, the hardcore gamer who is here. I know Barry is trying to raise some money for a GoFundMe. I hope Barry will raise some money from that. I will send a donation later this evening. But in the meantime, he's on YouTube. He's trying to get to 68 subscribers. So if somebody wants to subscribe to his page, he's the Hardcore Gamer Talk Show. Barry and I go way back to the point I didn't even have mutton chops, and I didn't even have hair like this. Well, I had hair kind of like this, but it was a little shorter. But if you want to follow Barry, that's his page. Check him out. If you want to talk about some devilish like video games or Barry just talking about whatever Barry wants to talk about, go give him a sub, give him a follow. He'll appreciate it. And I hope, Barry, you're doing well. And hopefully you get some more subscribers. And I definitely hope that you get that chair, because he's trying to get a new gaming chair. So I actually don't have a chair. I just sit on my pretty much on my couch, kind of. But that's okay. I'm not Barry, but Barry's a better guy than me. So give him a sub, give him a follow, and maybe Barry will take over Sportswire Radio from me. But you were certainly the rage tonight. I can't wait to see what Oswald Brightside and Abraham Storm think of you. Devin Adams has certainly got a rude awakening coming to him. And the best is yet to come. And, boy, I can't wait to see a lot more of you on Sportswire Radio. You're going to certainly be quite the rage, and you'll definitely be better than some other rages that have been on here. We had some guy that was Craven Rage that used to come on here. We're not going to go into that detail. And some other rages. There was, Rage from Resurrection. He's okay, but can't talk much. But that's okay. You certainly talks plenty. And that's the story here of the devil, Nathaniel Rage. You see him coming up here at Texas Promo Wrestling's in a nightmare street fight against Devin Adams. Hype promos will be due coming up here later this week. The match results will be this coming Sunday. Stay tuned for Texas Promo Wrestling's Instagram page for more details. Also, check out Nathaniel on a bunch of social media platforms. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, but all wrestling matters. If you're on Sportswire Radio, I will be here at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time with Omen Black and Mephisto before their IMF World Heavyweight Championship Showdown at IMF Winter Clash. In the meantime, I'll see everybody in a little while. Hit the sub button for us at Sportswire Radio 65.7. And if you like, support Nathaniel, House of Rage Productions. One more time, I'm putting it up. TeePublic Store. Also, I'm putting up here the YouTube link. So if you're here and you watch it, sub to his page. And I'll see everybody in a little while on Sportswire Radio, the #1 global radio station. See everybody in a